The real reason that these new redistricting laws are going into effect is simply this: we are a monolithic vote. Why else would the third largest demographic, racially speaking, in this country has these laws specifically tailored to the areas and where they live? We're going to talk about that right here, right now on the Ujamaa Network. A lot of people were questioning, where were black people during the anti-abortion protests? Where were black people when it came to the No Kings protest? Where were black people when it came to the ICE protest? Well, the short answer is we were waiting for our turn. We knew this was coming. This is why we voted the way we did in such a monolith. And we're going to talk about that word monolith. What does it mean to be a monolithic vote in this country? Voting in a monolith means a concentration so dense and so high that nothing is going to sway it. It is simply there. And what has been happening in states like South Carolina, where due to redistricting, longtime House of Representative member Mr. Clyburn is going to lose his seat. It's happening in Tennessee, where the entire Memphis area has been redistricted. It's happening here in Georgia, where the concentration of African American votes within the metro Atlanta area will no longer have the benefit of being able to select Democrat or Republican, just in that area of the state. This is on the heels of what's happening in Louisiana. Why is it that just in these congressional maps, where the highest concentration of African American votes are, and no one's thinking about these most populous racial demographic in this country? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Those other demographics don't vote in such monolithic fashions. Other than Caucasian Americans who overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, the Hispanic community was pretty much split. And though the Hispanic community itself is the largest minority group in the country, with some 69 million people, African Americans make up about 43 million. Now, here's the rub in all this. I didn't say 69 million Mexican Americans. I didn't say 69 million Cuban Americans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Venezuelans. That is not treated as a voting block, but they called it the Latin vote, all right? African Americans don't have that luxury. We don't segregate our votes into Jamaican or Haitian or African. You know, we're the black vote. Keep that in mind. Being part of the black vote, it means that you are now third in pecking order when it comes to population densities. So why are we skipping over the entire Latin community and focusing on those areas in this country where there are a high concentration of black Americans? And why are those districts and those districts alone being redistricted into smaller, more compact sizes to be parsed off and chomped up and devoured by sheer numbers of other racial groups getting into the mix? We see what happens. Representation is being lost. What's happened to Congressman Clyburn's district? He's going to lose that race due to redistricting. On the Republican side, I did a video on the 4 African American male congressmen who are all gone long before the primary was even over. One was primary, 2 are retiring, 1 is running for governor. All of them are gone. No black representation in the Republican Party at all, despite party affiliation. It's over. These consolidated efforts are part of Project 2025. This is our No Kings protest. This is our anti-abortion protests. This is our Palestinian and Israeli war protest. This is why we stayed out of the ICE protest, because we know where this was going to lead. And we're not asking for assistance from any other racial group. This is a fight we have to have right here, right now, in this community. So the question is, what do we do about it? And there is a startup kind of a campaign going on. A lot of the sports talk shows right now is that Black Americans, whether it's football or basketball, stop sending their sons to the SEC. The Southeast Conference, when it comes to football particularly, they're asking them to take their talents elsewhere. Stop feeding the South, in other words. When you think of the top recruits in football primarily, and the millions of billions of dollars that gets into college football because of black talent, why is it that it's our community that overrepresents on the football field and on the gridiron? But in these same states where you have these African American athletes playing ball, you're denying them the right to vote, for their parents to vote. And I've been hearing the arguments one way or the other. And a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on these young men, especially in the age of NIL money. I think it's going to be a hard pill for some of these athletes to kind of turn down. You're talking about turning down millions of dollars in NIL money just to go play football at a college like a Tennessee, like a Alabama, like a Georgia, Auburn. What's going to happen when these individuals say, hey, I got to do what's right for my family? What's going to happen to those individuals? Is this issue big enough for them to be like, you know what? Forget the SEC. Let's go pay for Notre Dame. Let's go pay for a college out in California. Let's go to UMass. You want to go to Michigan? What kind of conversation is being had right now? All of these states that are talking about redistricting and have put in efforts to redistrict, should the African American community support it? Now, this should be right up the alley of some of the podcasters in my community, because, you know, they reduce politics to almost like a team sport issue, whether they're arguing in favor of some of the conservative notions while still being very black, or if they are talking about actual change that's going to have to take place, because you're going to be cheering these games on because you're an Auburn fan, but then turn right around and condemn the state of Alabama for what it did to your vote. You can't have it both ways. And I'm glad I'm not part of this incoming class, because that's a heavy decision. I think if I was, well, I know how I would go. I just couldn't support an entire time. I mean, at this critical time, I don't think there's ever been anything quite like it in our history. You know, you never had that kind of money. It was just a challenge to get into school, number one. Now you're talking about money. I don't know. But these trying times call for very strong men on and off the field. And whatever decision that these individuals make, and I hope they take this opportunity. But you can't blame them. You really can't blame them. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later.